Remember Call of Duty Advanced Warfare? More than likely you're either too young to know anything past Warzone, or you're like me and it brings back nostalgia vibes. But sadly for many, myself included, it was the beginning of the end for COD. The COD fatigue was real. Yearly releases with very little added, just more stealth balancing and maps. But most importantly, many of us were no longer in high school or college. We had hit adulthood and had less time to play, or had the certain urge to just be more productive, and sadly having to leave Call of Duty and gaming behind. Not only that, but the main downfall was its exo movement. While a series first and a cool concept to fly around everywhere 0 to 100, just didn't turn out so well. Thankfully it was fine-tuned in future installments, but eventually removed entirely. But why even bring this up? Well, just recently I was cleaning through my closet and I found my old forgotten treasure.
Another false.
Yes, my old gaming collection, most notably my Call of Duty collection, the epitome of my teen years. Instant memories of countless days and nights gaming with my cousin, friends met IRL and in-game. The good old days of bragging back at school about our games and stats. I think we can all relate. But for me, I was known as the most hardcore when it came to ranking up, and most important, the prestige race, ranking up as fast as humanly possible. That was my most anticipated goal for every Call of Duty. Being at school, daydreaming, writing down notes to min-max my XP gains, what classes to run and what kill streaks to run, all before the game was even released. Yes, I was that much of a fiend. But sadly, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare was the Call of Duty that extinguished the spark in me and halted the prestige race. Exo movement, unfun gun balancing, and most importantly, COD fatigue was just my breaking limit. But somehow, someway, I did it. I hit max 30th prestige after a long break. But after recollecting, brought up the question, how long would it take to hit max level? Or with the new perspective of being an adult, working countless tiring hours, with very little free time compared to the no responsibility prestige fiend I was back in high school. So in this video, I, your host Aiden, will be going through our most favorite topic, math, memories, and most importantly, speculation, to find out how long it would take realistically to hit max level to prestige in a variety of IRL situations. Most notably, the average Joe Bob that, unfortunately, I have become. So grab your Bal 27 and ASM1, hit the subscribe and like button, follow me on Twitch, and let's EXO launch our way into the video. I think it's safe to say for the most part, we all know the premise behind Call of Duty, and its leveling progression. But for those that were unfortunately not able to play back in the day, or maybe you've heard of Call of Duty but never knew exactly truly what it was, Call of Duty was well known for its great campaigns and story. But what really made Call of Duty blow up into the juggernaut it is today is the multiplayer. Being able to party up with friends, or simply being solo and instantly finding a match of other matchmade players. The main premise of the multiplayer is to kill other players to help achieve an objective, whether that be holding down an area, capturing a flag, or simply reaching a kill limit first. But what really took Call of Duty to a whole new level was the kill streaks, or score streaks as they are called in this Call of Duty, where if you got multiple kills in one life, you would be rewarded with powerful kill streaks. So you could call in a jet that just annihilates your enemies, that can then follow up into a chopper gunner that you can control and shoot your enemies, to even dropping a game-ending nuke, killing everyone and instantly securing you a win no matter what. Just full-on mayhem. And like I said earlier, all on the way you would gain experience points, or most commonly referred to as XP, and level up to earn new guns, perks, and most fun for me, even more powerful kill streaks. For the most part, XP works the same way in the main non-Warzone Call of Duties. Gaining a certain amount of XP will rank you up to the next player level, with each level increasing the amount of XP required to hit the next one. Once hitting the max level, you can either enjoy all the weapons and perks and kill streaks you've hardly earned, or you can decide, nah, throw all that away and start all again at level 1. Yes, just, I don't want this, throw it away, I want to be level 1 again. Yes, why? Well, for a new prestige badge. Yes, that's why. Yes, players, myself included, we would go absolute ape shizzle for a new level badge. That's right, players would just restart the grind for a new badge that shows next to your player with no in-game advantage, just purely cosmetics. Thankfully, future Call of Duties would reward you with cool prestige challenges, prestige cosmetics, and create extra creative class slots. But how exactly do we get XP to achieve prestige? Well, quite easy. Getting kills, capturing objectives, and for completing matches through the endgame match bonuses. But what changes the most throughout Call of Duty are challenges, where you could complete a certain task that could range as easy as getting 10 kills or capturing one flag and granting a small amount of extra XP, to the higher XP gains of grinding 100 headshots or getting 9 rapid kills, all granting a noticeable amount of XP up to like 10,000, even 20,000 in certain Call of Duties, where clever players like myself could use to their advantage. But now being an adult and seeing the eyes of the average Joe Bob, let's see how long it would take for the average Joe Bob to hit max level. I mean, it's only 50 levels, shouldn't be too hard, right? So in Call of Duty Warfare, there are a total of 50 levels to grind through to get to max level, and for the true hardcore, the prestige. To hit level 50, we need a grand total of 1,002,100 XP. Might seem like a lot, but you have to realize that other Call of Duties, they've been pushing like 1.5, 1.8, even over 2 million XP. The thing about this Call of Duty is there are 15 prestiges we have to take account, so that kind of balances out. While many of you may not believe me, I've always been a devastating pub stomper. I mean, just look at these unbiased screenshots of my endgame stats while I was back in high school. Oh, memories. But now, after being an adult with bills and responsibilities, I now see how little time you have to play, but most importantly, learn the game, which is actually very crucial for the amount of XP and levels you can earn. So let's go over the rules for the speculation rush. While we will be going over other speculations such as being a pub stomping beast, to my most hated rule that my mama bear and probably many others had been enforced, the infamous 1 hour a day to play, later in the end of the video, which is just such a cardinal sin to even think about for a gamer. But for these videos, I want to go more over the average Joe grind. Playing the game an average like 1 or 2 hours a day, mainly playing Team Deathmatch, or TDM for short, using 1 to 3 main guns, and the skill of the player, which we will round to being an average player that should mainly go even, leaning more towards the positive kill death ratio, with a few good and bad matches thrown in. But let's go over quickly what TDM is. The main premise of the game mode is you are placed in a match of 2 teams, each having a max of 6 players each team, and the main objective is to hit a kill limit before your opponent. Simple enough, but I find TDM to be a double-edged sword. Well, yeah, if you're looking for easy kills, it's good because of the influx of average Joes. I mean, come on, it's literally the first game mode you can play in every Call of Duty. Click on every Call of Duty, the first game mode is always Team Deathmatch. However, matches are typically slow paced since there are no objectives or point of interest, so players are just left to be scattered everywhere for the most part. With the kill limit only being 75 back in the day, with it the norm maybe being 100 now, correct me if I'm wrong. And the most heartbreaking of them all, only 1 or 2 huge kill streaks are ever called in, if any, in a given match. So in TDM, kills are worth 100 XP, or 50 XP for an assist where you damage an enemy but the teammate gets a kill, which you can actually earn more XP for the kills by earning what they call in-game medals. Basically small requirements that would grant you extra XP, from ranging from 50 extra XP all the way up to 200 depending on what it is, that you can get multiple of them from one kill, such as getting a headshot, getting a payback kill, or even getting multiple kills in rapid succession. TDM matches have a max time limit of 10 minutes, that once hit the match is over and whichever team has the most kills is crowned the victor, or can be left in a draw if tied. But for the most part, most TDM matches are finished in a 7 to 8 minute time frame. Once over, players have to wait for the match to wrap up, and then have to wait in the pre-game lobby, giving you time to check out your new unlocks, then change up your classes. So on average, that is a total of 1 game every 10 minutes. So for this video, I'm going to say that the average Joe Bob, for my speculation, will earn about 15 kills, which should be around 2,500 in-game XP. And unfortunately in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, match bonuses are fixed, meaning whether you do great or bad does not matter, which might not seem like much to you guys, but to me, the XP fiend that I was trying to grind as fast as possible, it kind of did annoy me after a while. And we're also going to be trickling in some challenges, which all that maybe will be around like 5,000 XP per match over the long period of time of playing. Now you might be thinking, cool, now divide that by 1 million, you get your results, right? Well, unfortunately for me, no. I want to go more in depth. We still have to take into place good and bad games, double XP drops, and most notably for this game only, supply drops. Supply drops are basically loot boxes that grant 3 items of Enlisted, Pro, and Elite, with a 4th one, Legendary, being added way after. But I want to go over how long it would take from the initial release of the game, so no Legendaries. So with all this in mind, it's time we revisit our favorite subject in life, math, to find out how realistically it would take the average Joe Bob to hit max level 50 in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So like stated earlier, there are supply drops that reward XP for being redeemed, all depending on the rarity, all being able to be redeemed for up to 500, 1000, 2000, and even 4000 for the legendaries respectively. While no one truly knows how supply drops are awarded, it is commonly speculated to drop an average of 1 supply drop every 45 minutes, which is theorized to be earned faster for lower skill players to every 20 minutes, probably as a way to entice them to keep playing the game. But for the sake of this video speculation, we will round them to 1 supply drop every 30 minutes on average, so about 2k per supply drop. You might be saying, well, you do get more XP from a supply drop. The thing is, you might want to keep those weapons. Some of those supply drop weapons you might want to keep to use, because I doubt anybody wants to get rid of their Infernal or Obsidian Steed Bal 27. So yeah, we're not going to be selling every gun. So on average, we're going to be earning about 2k XP per supply drop, give or take. So now for my fellow nerds that can follow, don't worry, I'll go over everything towards the end. For those that can't follow, we'll be going over my Frankenstein of a formula for XP gains every hour. So on average of 6 TDM matches every hour with good games and bad games, double XP drops, and challenges sprinkled in. That gives us about an average of 51k XP every hour, give or take. So multiply that by 2, because we're going to say that the average Joe Bob plays 2 hours a day. So let's just say they play 14 hours in a week. They might play 1 hour one day, 3 hours the next day, you know? Let's just say 2 hours a day on average. But you also have to take into place that the more you play, the more you're going to learn the game, the more you're going to earn better guns, better kill streaks, most importantly, better attachments to make your guns even better, learning the maps. All that increases your XP gains because you're getting better as a player. The thing is, other players are also getting better as well, so we kind of have to take that into play too. So we're going to round it up to 105,000 XP per day playing 2 hours a day. Sound about right, right? So now if we divide the pinnacle 1,002,100 XP by 105,000, we'll see that it takes about 9.5 days for the average Joe Bob to hit max level. Sounds about right, a week and a half to 2 weeks for the average Joe Bob to hit max level. This is all speculation. Obviously, many people have more or less time to play. Joe Bobs vary, trust me. You find some of the weirdest Joe Bobs out there. I don't even know if they're real Joe Bobs or they're NPC Bobs. What most people don't realize is most Joe Bobs get distracted with IRL stuff. Kids, chores, errands, or the one that hit me the most was being simply too tired after a long day of work to come home and game well every day. That actually caught me off guard. But before we end this section, I want to quickly go over how long me, a self-acclaimed gaming beast of nature, would take to achieve max level. So here I have my average gaming scores after coming back to the game after nearly a decade of last playing it. Truly some nostalgia. As you can see, I'm averaging about almost 2 times the amount of kills and XP. So you would just say, oh, just times it by 2, right? Well, yes and no. You have to realize is when you have a gaming beast of nature, good players are going to make your games go by so much faster, and they're going to make you win more games. So therefore, our match bonuses are on average are going to go up since we're winning more and getting more of the winning match bonuses. But you have to realize games are being played faster since more than likely that gaming beast of nature is just grinding those kills and just ending the games. So we'll say on average they're able to sneak 2 games in per hour. So for that formula, we're doing 2 hours a day. So that's an extra 4 games they're able to slide into every day. So after all this, the gaming beast of nature would get about 172,000 XP per day. That means it would take them about a week to hit max level. But that's not where I want to end it too. We also have to take into play that if you're that good at playing, you're more than likely not going to play 2 hours a day. More than likely you're in high school or college, probably hopefully don't have kids, so you'll have all this time to play. Back in high school, I would easily play 5 hours a day, and I wouldn't be playing team deathmatch because if I wanted XP gains, I'd definitely be playing other game modes. So after doing all this, let's go through the Frankenstein MMO formula. And you can see that it would take on average a day and a half to 2.5 days to prestige, which sounds about right. That's how fast I would prestige back in the day. That would probably be like a month to hit max prestige. Fastest I would hit it is a month. Give it 2 months the latest, I would be max prestige already. Just watching these clips, man, just brings back good old memories. Well, that was definitely a fun ride, reminiscing of my gaming fiend days back in high school, and now viewing gaming with the perspective of being an adult with bills and responsibilities. So now we can see that the average Joe Bob should take at least a week and a half to hit max level. But for those legends that are still sticking around to the end of the video, What if the gaming beast of nature only had an hour to play? Yes, that infamous rule my mama bear would enforce on me as a kid. We can see with this Frankenstein of a formula, it would take 11 and a half days, so about a week and a half to hit max level, which is just unfathomable to think about, both in how long it takes and just how little time you play. Mama Bear always tried to enforce that rule on me as a child, which really stuck to me. But thankfully, as I grew older, she was more lenient and understood that gaming was my life, was my passion. I really enjoyed gaming. That was what I did. Other people like to play sports, people like to read and write. I love gaming. And now my newfound passion is editing. I've always wanted it to edit as a kid, and I just never did it. I thought it was too hard, too difficult, nobody would watch it. But now as an adult, I'm just gonna go for it. But I'm curious, how many of you had this unfortunate rule enforced on them too, only an hour a day? Because I'm pretty sure quite a few of us did, and I'm pretty sure past that 1 hour mark, we would just stay there quiet until they told us, hey, weren't you supposed to be off an hour ago? Or is that only me and my cousin that had that? But my overall experience of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare with my high school memories and recently playing again, it was a good game looking back. Definitely nostalgia reminiscent, but overall the initial idea behind supply drops, variants, and character customization, note this was before they were purchasable with IRL money, definitely did add a lot of replayability. But the unfun gun balance, the powerful quote-unquote high-end kill streaks just being super lackluster and not being fun to use, and most notably the exo movement definitely were a downside. But all that said, definitely a good installment looking back. I give it 7 out of 10 doggos. But what I'm mostly curious is comment down below what you guys thought about the game when it was first released, to coming back to it now or just hearing about it nowadays. Because definitely my opinions have definitely changed now being an adult. And while you're at it, hit the like and subscribe button, follow me on Twitch, and let me know what other games we should dive into. Once again, this is all subject to vary. Some Joe Bobs might be really good, some Joe Bobs might be really bad, some Joe Bobs have more free time, some Joe Bobs think they're way better than they really are, which was the most part. I just wanted to go back to the most important memories of my youth, and that definitely was gaming, and make the videos I always wanted to as a kid. I was your host Aiden, but most importantly, stay smiling.